Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Grace and I share sewing tutorials on this YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful underbust corset that you can style on your shirt or on your top like this. So make sure that you watch this tutorial till the end. And also don't forget to like, comment and share and subscribe to this YouTube channel. With no further ado, let's get into the video and start learning. To make this corset, I have a crepe fabric here that's just like 1 yard. I'm going to be using it for both the lining and the main fabric. I have my pattern paper and also a list of some measurements. So since this is an underbust corset, it's not going to require a lot. So my bust point is 10, underbust 13, waistline 19, and the full length that I'm going to be using 23. So this first line that I'm drawing on my pattern paper here will serve as the bust point. Because the bust point is at 10 inches, I'm going to place my tape on that 10 inches. That line, I'm going to be placing it at 10 inches. Then I will go down to the underbust, which is 13 inches from that first line. So I'll mark that at 13 inches and I will draw a straight line across. So this new line is the underbust line. Then starting from that 10 inches again, I'll go down to the waistline that I want to use for this corset, which is 19 inches. My normal waistline is 18, but because I want this to extend a little down, I made it at 19 inches. Then the full length of the corset, which is where the front will end at the middle part, that extended middle part, is 23 inches. And I will draw a straight line across that as well. So these are the lines we'll be working with to make this underbust corset. This is the underbust line, this is the waistline, this is the full length of the corset. Now I'm going to be placing my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 on each of the lines. Mine is 8 and that divided by 2 will give me 4. So from the middle of the pattern like this, I'm going to place 4 inches on all the lines that I have here. Once I'm done doing that, I will use my straight ruler to connect all the points that I have here together. Then starting from this underbust line, I'm going to be placing 1 inch on each side of the straight line that I just drew now. So I'll mark 1 inch here, mark 1 inch here as well. Do the same thing on the waistline and also do the same thing on the full length. Then I'll use my straight ruler to connect those points together as well. Next thing is to come down from the bust point by ½ inch and mark that. Then I'll connect with a curve to meet the underbust area. Now this particular part is very optional. I'm just trying to create a context right there because we are still going to be cutting it off from the underbust line because this is an underbust corset. So on the bust point line like this, I'll place my bust measurement divided by 4 on it, and on this underbust I'm going to place my underbust measurement divided by 4 as well and add what I have in between these dots. And also on the waistline, I'll place my waist measurement divided by 4, add what I have in between the dots, and on the full length as well, I'm going to be placing what I have in that area by 4. So I'm just going to be maintaining what I have on the waist because it's very close to the waist as well. So I'm connecting those lines together. Then on the underbust, which is where we are going to be cutting from, I'll just come down by ½ inch like this to give that curve at the middle. So I'm cutting off the upper part that is not needed. This is where we need. Then I'm just going to use my curve ruler to create a curve to go and meet that ½ inch that I just marked now. So can you see? After cutting that out, I'm going to go ahead and also cut out the excesses from the pattern paper and also cut the side of this pattern. So this is what we have now. Then I will go ahead and cut out the dots. And after cutting it out, I'm going to join these two pieces together because I don't want joining on my fabric in that area. I want my pattern to be in one piece so that the fabric will be in one piece as well. So I will use my sellotape to join it together like this. So I have the pattern in one piece. So to get that little pointed shape in front, I'm going to be slanting from my waistline down to the full length like this. So from the side of the waist, I just slanted down and I'll cut this out. So this is what I'm going to be using to cut out the front part of this corset. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 4 like this, because I want to use the fabric as both fabric and the lining. So when I fold it into 4, I will make sure that that center part is on the folded edge of the fabric like this, and then I'm going to pin it together all the way. Then I'll cut it out, adding half an inch allowance on the top and the down. Then I'll add 1 inch sewing allowance to the side, as you can see. So this is how the front part of the corset looks like. I'll just use my chalk to mark the wrong areas of the fabric. Then to cut out the back part of the corset, I'm just going to be folding these pointed parts of the front like this. Then when I fold it, I will now go in by the side by 2 inches. Then I'll use a straight ruler to connect that together, and then I will cut it out. So that's just to create an opening at the back for the corset, and that area that I just drew circles on is where the eyelets are going to sit at the end of the day. So I folded my fabric into 4 as well to get 2 pieces each for each side for the back, and I pinned it up. Then I added half an inch allowance to all the areas, then added 1 inch allowance to the side. So I also went ahead to mark the wrong side of the fabric so that I will not be confused when I'm joining it together, and also notched some part of the back fabric as well. Now I'm going to be ironing Fusible interfacing to all of my pieces, both the one that we use for lining and for the main fabric. So I've ironed this soft Fusible interfacing on them. Then on the one that I will be using as the main fabric for the front like this, I'll go ahead and draw style lines where I'm going to place my corset. So I'll be using a sewable corset. So I will draw one like this on the middle part. Make sure that your ruler is sitting directly on the middle. Then from the middle like this, I'm going to measure 5 inches away at the top area. Then on these down parts, I'll just measure like 3.5 inches so that it will slant into each other. Then I'll connect those together. I'll do the same thing as well on the other side, just to create a stylish boning lines. So once I've done this, I'm going to do it on the back piece as well. So the one that will be the main fabric for the back, I'll arrange them as well, and also create a style line. So I'm just going to be measuring about maybe 4 inches away from the middle like this, or 3.5 inches, and I'll create one line. So I'm creating only one line here because at the middle parts I'm going to be using a plastic boning. So this one line that I'm just creating is for the regular boning, which is the sewable boning. You understand what I'm saying as we go on. So these are the main fabric pieces, as you can see. And to cover the boning as well, I've already cut out pieces like this, which measures just 1.5 inches wide, in order to cover up that sewable boning. So what I will do is that I will take one of the piece, then measure it with what I have on the line. So it has to be the same thing with the line. So I'll measure it like this. If I have 9 inches, I will go ahead and cut out 8 inches on my boning, so that I will have half an inch to join it on both the top and the down without affecting the boning. So when I cut out 8 inches like this, I have something like this. I hope you understand. So I will now use my paper tape to cover up the edges of the boning, so that it will not be choking whoever is wearing it at the end of the day, because the edges can be very sharp. Then I'll place it inside of my strip like this, the piece that I've cut, and cover it up. Then I'm going to take this to the sewing machine. Now this is a clear visual explanation. So when I'm covering up the boning with the piece like this, I'm going to make sure that I have an inch on the top before placing it, and there will be half an inch at the down part as well. So I will just go ahead now and sew this all the way down, making sure that I'm just sewing a little bit on the boning so that it stays together with that little fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew, and once I'm done, I will now place it on the boning line that I created earlier. So when I place it like this, I make sure that I place it at the side, then I sew directly on the line that I just finished sewing now. So make sure you are sewing directly on that first line. Then once you are done sewing it and joining it like this, you now turn it over. When you turn it over, you will now top stitch it again like this. So that's just one of the method of sewing a regline or sewable boning. So once this is done, I'll just repeat the same process on all the lines that I created, both in front and in back. And this is what I have after I've done that. So now it's time to start joining this together. So I'll join this to the side like this and sew with half an inch. That is the sewing allowance that we added. And I will also do the same thing on the lining pieces. So whatever I'm doing on the main fabric, I'll do on the lining pieces. The only difference is that I'm not adding boning to the lining pieces. So after joining the main fabric together, this is what I have, and this is how the lining looks like as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the excesses on the side. Then before I join the lining to the main fabric, I'm going to be adding one more boning to these sides that I just joined. So I'm going to be sewing it the same way that we sew the remaining part of the boning as well. So I've sewn it, and this is what I have. Then on this edge like this, on the both edges, I sew down the fabric like a bias so that I will be able to pass in my plastic boning. But before I do that, I will join the main fabric and the lining together. So placing them right sides facing each other like this, I will head ahead to the sewing machine and sew with half an inch on the top alone first, on the upper parts of the corset alone first. So after joining it together, this is what I have, and I will just go ahead and notch it all the way around. So after notching, I'll turn it over like this and also give it a good press so that that place will stay in place very well. Then I will pass my last set of bonings, which is this plastic boning. So I will just measure what I have on the bias I created with my fabric, and I'll make sure that I have 1 inch less boning. Then I'll use my lighter to reduce the sharpness and also cover it up with my paper tape before I pass it into the bias hole. So I'll cut 2 of that because I need 2, and also do the same thing to it. Then I'll pass it into the boning opening that I created. So the purpose of this is to make sure that those areas are very firm, so that when I eventually put the eyelets and I want to lace it up, it will be very firm. Now the next thing is to join the down parts of these corsets. So I'll just go ahead and sew with half an inch, and I will also join one side of the sides as well and leave the other one opened for turning it over, as you can see. So this is what I have when I did that and I turned it over. So I use this one side to turn it over, right? So I'm just going to fold in this side like this. I'll make sure the fold is very neat, and I'll just use a top stitch to cover it up. And after that, I will now go ahead and press this whole corset to make sure that everything is looking very nice and clean. So the corset is almost ready. The only thing now is for me to take it to the eyelets machine so that I can fix my eyelets. I don't have that, so I use the commercial people around that does it for people. And after fixing the eyelets, this is what I have. I also created a long strip that I will be using to pass the rope into the eyelets. And that's just basically all for this corset. So if you have not yet liked this video at this point, or you are not yet subscribed, please kindly do so now. And if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. Also, don't forget to share this video with your loved ones. Thank you for watching. Until I see you in my next tutorial. Bye.